I'm going to fight like hell for women and girls to keep men out of women's private spaces.
Nancy Mace has been in Congress for 4 years, although it seems like 40. And in that time, she's proven to be as insane as Dairy Queen and hands-on Bobert.
And
tranny. I don't really care. You want penises in women's bathrooms, and I'm not going to have it.
Okay.
No, thank you.
It's
disgusting.
Maybe even a little more crazy. After calling out LGBT Americans as destroying the fabric of America, and we'll get to that, Crazy Nancy proved that she was equally bigoted when saying that every undocumented person was ready to rape and kill you. Even the other day, when someone asked for a moment of silence for the Pope, she decided to go the other way instead.
And we will bless the Pope now, because the Pope has just passed too. We should have brought that up and had a moment of silence, because the Pope has just passed. Thank you. Show some respect.
Maybe you could start with respecting young men and women who've been killed in South Carolina by illegal immigrants.
Again, I will say this. The odds of getting killed by John are 1,000 times greater than getting killed by Juan. It's a simple fact supported by the numbers. Undocumented Americans have a higher rate of vaccination, of fidelity, of marriage, of church attendance, while having a lower rate of violence and a lower rate of divorce and domestic violence. And undocumented pay billions into Medicare and Social Security, which they'll never use.
How much do you think undocumented immigrants pay into the tax system every year?
Zero?
Nothing.
No, probably nothing. Undocumented, I would guess zero. And why would they pay anything?
My guess is nothing.
Since they're undocumented, $0.
$100. $100. 2022, they paid $96 billion into Social Security and Medicare, just undocumented.
I really don't know what to say about it.
But what's getting wall-to-wall coverage today is when Mace was in a drugstore and a man asked her if she was going to have any more town halls. And of course, she flipped out and she lied. But before I show you the real content, here's how Horsemouth told the story on Hannity.
Woohoo! Stop the presses!
Oh, and before you see that, I want to remind you, please subscribe to us at Really American on YouTube. It's free and it's easy. And did I mention free?
U.S. Representative Nancy Mace of South Carolina in what turned into a heated confrontation with a voter in a store. The pair go back and forth and eventually start to exchange profanity.
When are you going to host a real town hall for the people?
Did you miss the 15 I had last year?
That wasn't the town. When are you going to host one this year?
I've already had one, and we'll have a dozen more.
The town hall you hosted this year was not a town hall. Let's be real.
It was a town hall, and I do them every year.
Every year?
You want to keep going?
Are you going to do any more this year?
Want to keep going?
Are you going to do it? I'm asking if you're going to have any more town halls this year. Any more
People
that you're
on the
going to
left
this year
are
or not?
Crazy.
So I'm on the left.
Absolutely crazy.
I'm absolutely crazy.
Get out of my face.
You're insane.
Goodbye.
You're insane. You're gonna You're gonna be voted out so fast this year. I can't wait for you to go into the dirt.
So much.
You're a disgrace to this state. That's what you are.
Mace also posted her own video to social media.
I felt threatened. I felt harassed. And I will tell you, as someone who's experienced trauma in her life, and a lot of women will understand what I'm talking about, when some guy gets in your face and approaches you in the aggressive manner that he did, and you feel like you're in danger.
I asked a simple question. Nancy Mace was not held in this aisle. She had to clear out of this aisle. I was at least 8 feet away from her at all times. There was no aggression. There was no harassment. Nancy Mace likes to play the victim card, but that's not what happened here. I asked a simple question as a resident of the state of South Carolina, and she couldn't answer it.
She tried to scold you, it seemed, when you started questioning her by citing her previous support for gay marriage, a point you did not raise, did not inquire about, and only mentioned the idea of wanting to know when her next town hall was. But I want to play this exchange to show what she said.
And by the way, I voted for gay marriage twice.
What does that have to do with
So
me?
I'm just saying, it has everything to do with you.
Do you think everything about me has to do with gay marriage?
I do,
That's
absolutely.
your first stance when you speak with me?
Absolutely.
Why do you think she brought that up, and what was your reaction to her doing so?
Laura, Nancy Mace sees people in a single layer. She sees me and she sees the people of my community one way. She feels that we owe her something because she voted yay for gay marriage. We don't owe her anything.
Okay, as you're about to see, Mace is lying, and she is obviously fascinated by trans people. Now, I don't care how you self-identify, and last I checked, drag queens aren't shooting up schools, molesting kids, or texting war plans to their brother-in-laws. So why do people like Mace flip out? Good question.
USAID awarded $2 million to strengthen trans-led organizations to deliver gender-affirming health care in Guatemala.
So to each of you this morning, does this advance the interests of American citizens paying for trannies in Guatemala to the tune of $2 million?
Mr. Chairman, parliamentary inquiry.
Yes, sir.
The gentlelady has used a phrase that is considered a slur in the LGBTQ community and the transgender community. And let me please finish without interruption. And
Tranny.
Now, if Horselips here had stopped and questioned government spending, that's a legitimate argument, as are males transitioning, playing against smaller women in sports. It's about fairness. But Mace is one of those Republicans who voted for gay marriage, but hates gay and trans people because of how they dress or where they want to poop. But the tranny thing?
All right, so some tranny protesters showed up at the Capitol today to protest my bathroom bill, but they got arrested, poor things. So I have a message for the protesters who got arrested. You ready? You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to speak to an attorney.
But this whole Republican thing about bathrooms and who's inside them is what flips me out. The New York Times says in Manhattan, a pretty hip city of around 8 million people, that about 50 trans persons go into women's bathrooms a day out of 8 million.
You ever notice how the most anti-trans people, some like old conservative dude with titties? It's like, hey dog, maybe you ought to jog off that B cup before you're all talking about everybody's gender.
But the real story here, underneath all of Mr. Ed's craziness, is the idea that politicians can snuggle next to Trump's broad curriculum of hate and bitterness against undocumented and native-born immigrants, people of color, and LGBT, and we're not allowed to confront them at Rite Aid? Fuck you, because we've seen this.
David, why are you supporting the red flag laws? If Scott Peterson, the resource officer at Parkland, had done his job, then Nicholas Cruz wouldn't have killed anybody in your high school.
So if you say shit like that, I will get in your face, and I will harass you, because these doughy-eyed cockwaffles ain't seen nothing yet. While Trump attacks the good men and women who make this country work, we will metaphorically attack those working for him and carrying out his f***ed-up agenda. And I urge you to do the same.
In the good old days, this doesn't happen because they used to treat them very, very rough. And when they protested once, you know, they would not do it again so easily. We've become weak.
No one should advocate violence, but Horselips here thinks she can incite violence just like Tiny Fingers, and no one will have the courage to get in her face.
Tranny.
But Horselips, we know where you shop.
Terrorizing our communities.
Are your leaders incompetent, unqualified people compromising national security?
Goddamn right.
Yes.
Elon eating the dogs.
Who's benefiting? What billionaire just got richer?
They had what? Bloated and fat and disgusting.
I like that.
We're a nation that speaks English.
Look, if something like that thing's dark ugly.
I don't want to talk about this stuff.
Am I wrong?
Yes.
TikTok.
You're in a lot of trouble, Donnie.
I think he's crazy.
I'm Chip Franklin.